I really wanted to like Three Men and a Baby, particularly because I really like Ted Danson. And the film sounded like it could have been pretty good. It's got 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. That gave me relatively high hopes. But having watched it, I feel like it's fine. It's okay. It feels like an extended version of the first 2 episodes of Full House, to be perfectly honest. It's also a little hard to follow. I find that the narrative doesn't explain things very well. And, it was clear enough what was going on, but I still had questions at the end of the film. And that didn't really feel very satisfying. So basically, the film was released in 1987, directed by Leonard Nimoy, and is about a young child, a baby was left in a basket on the doorstep. And there's some confusion. They think that they have to take this baby in as instructed by Jack, played by Ted Danson, and Peter and Michael, Selleck and Steve Guttenberg take in this baby and start to look after it. And obviously, neither of them has any idea how to look after a baby or what to do, and they're fumbling and they're making mistakes, and everything that could cause a problem seems to be causing a problem. But there's also the real package that Jack was referring to, and what that real package is, I won't say, but that also brings in some problems. So they have quite a lot to deal with and a lot on their plate, and they're juggling everything, and none of them are fathers. They don't really know what they're doing. This poor baby doesn't stand a chance for a lot of the film. And that sounds like it could be entertaining. Definitely, minus the package aspect, sounds like Joey and Jesse trying to deal with baby Michelle in the beginning, in the first few episodes of Full House. It kind of just has that vibe. And the dates are very similar as well. I don't know, maybe there was a thirst for this kind of narrative back then. There are some things that annoy me though. First of all, as I said, the narrative isn't very well explained. I just feel like, even if you pay full attention, which I did, of course, it just left me with too many questions. I felt like things were going back and forth too much. There was quite a lot of repetition, even though, usually repetition helps reinforce things. It just didn't. And the baby never stops crying, and it's so loud. Like, if they could have just turned down the volume of the baby in post when they were editing the sound. But it's really just constant and screechy, and it's not pleasant. Like, if I'd seen this in the cinema, that would have been really brutal. It definitely made me want to not go anywhere near babies for a very long time. So I feel like the sound editing is actually really bad. Obviously, the crying needs to be quite loud to get the message across that this baby is noisy and unsettled and they don't know what to do with her. But definitely the sound, the editing there was just not great. Not great at all. And, maybe they would have had difficulty turning down the noise of the baby. Well, if that was the case, if they didn't have the technology for it, have fewer scenes, because it was uncomfortable and loud and difficult to watch. Ted Danson wasn't in it for a good half of it. Not really. Once he was back in it, I enjoyed his performance. The baby is very cute. The baby is adorable. Little Mary, played by Lisa and Michelle Blair, absolutely adorable. The development of the narrative was alright, but as I said, quite repetitive. The resolution was quite flat. I didn't find it very funny. It was fine, I didn't mind watching it, but certainly it does not live up to the hype. Will I watch Three Men and a Little Lady? Maybe, probably, eventually. But for now, I'm happy to have seen Three Men and a Baby to settle my curiosity. I'm happy enough to recommend it as a casual watch, but don't expect anything amazing.